Yeah, so, yeah, good afternoon, attorney.
Good afternoon po.
You were asking me nga kanina, earlier, no? So, yung sabi ko, what will be our agenda, our main topic this afternoon. And she mentioned nga na, when you passed the bar last year, tama ba?
Yeah, last year.
Last
Ay,
year.
bago lang.
Oo, bago lang. Bago lang si Antonio.
Sana kasabay ko sana. Tuloy lang ako.
So, we would like to know yung mga, kasi based doon sa initial parang materials that presented to us, parang a group of lawyers for Christ.
Yes.
So we wanted to really understand kung ano bang scope niyan, ano bang agenda, ano bang parang main goal of that lawyers for Christ group or in your part of that.
Ayan po, yung Lawyers for Christ is one of the first things that I did upon passing the bar. I was planning initially to go into corporate. Pero God has another plan, so I was able to meet with several leaders, individuals na who have the same passion and vision as I have. Mainly the passion is to see change in the Philippines. Yung parang mga pagod na sa problema sa Pilipinas, ang ganun. Corruption and everything. So we really think na a voice is needed para magkaroon ng pagbabago sa Pilipinas. And so yung Lawyers for Christ is composed of lawyers and Christian leaders who are one in dreaming for a better Philippines.
How will that, let's say, impact or ano yung criteria ninyo in choosing your clients, knowing that parang meron kayong certain advocacy or certain na pina-follow? Kasi Lawyers for Christ, but you know naman, syempre iba yung stigma pag sinabing yung lawyers.
Yeah. So yung Lawyers for Christ is a faith-based organization. So first of all, it's a political organization na faith-based. Meaning it wants to be a Christian think tank organization pagdating sa mga policies, sa mga laws na it seeks to influence mga policymakers, mga thought leaders, and even the general public. Pagdating naman sa representation, we also accept representation from people, from clients, specifically yung mga clients whose individual rights are tawag dito, oppressed na mga individuals na yung kanilang mga karapatan ay nababiolate. We also advocate for them. So but primarily, mainly, Lawyers for Christ is a think tank. Siguro mas magandang ganun siya tingnan. It's an organization who seeks to influence the thought leaders of our time, policymakers, para pag nag-craft sila ng mga laws, ng mga policies, these policies are really anchored in Christian principles, in biblical principles. Kaya siya Lawyers for Christ. So hindi ka lang lawyer. So you are a lawyer for Christ. So the idea is to itong mga legal professionals who are Christians na magsama-sama and seek to influence yung current na society natin. To be very honest about it.
Okay.
Question from Kapamilya Online World. Dito sa lang sa akin Sabi niya, what inspired you to pursue both biblical studies and a career in law? And how have these two fields influenced your approach to public service?
Yung biblical studies, kinuha ko siya because at the time I was really looking for an undergraduate degree that would be different from other degrees. Ang sabi ko sa sarili ko, if ever I'm going to study, I'm going to seek for myself a different kind of education, something that is different. Lumaki kasi ako sa family na puro mga teachers tas mga iba-ibang mga professionals. Pero parang trinay ko yon, kaya parang ang dami kong degrees na kinuha before. Pero lagi ako nagsasawa. So sabi ko, not for me really. Kaya nung pumuha ko ng biblical studies, ng theology, ayun, dun siguro nakuha ko ng challenge doon. And really, nagkaroon ako for the first time in my life ng deeper understanding ng mga greatest questions of my life, ako personally. Like, ang mga question ko kasi when I was young, may Diyos ba talaga? Mga ganon. So, how do I become a good Christian? Parang ganon. Basically, I want to answer yung greatest questions of life. Who am I? Where did I come from? Where am I going? How do I get there? So, these are my interests. So, I am theologically and philosophically inclined. And because of that, I think na nung nag-take ako ng law, I think I have ang pinaghugutan ko kasi, theology. So, parang meron yung Christian anthropology, for example. I-relate ko lang yun sa mga ginagawa namin sa Lawyers for Christ. Like, for example, when you are crafting a law, okay, kapag ang thinking mo, dahil tinuro sa amin Christian anthropology, this is consistent sa Christian traditions and in Christian anthropology, that man is a moral creature, but he is also a fallen creature. Ibig sabihin, makasalanan siya. So, kapag gagawa ka ng batas, ang iniisip mo, halimbawa, legislator ako, Christian na legislator ako, gagawa ako ng batas. Ang iniisip mo, paano kaya mapipigilan ng gagawin kong batas itong pagiging makasalanan ng isang tao? Pansinin niyo sa lipunan natin, for example, napakaraming mga corrupt, especially those who are mga politicians, those who are in the government. Pwede kasing mag-tribe sila kapag ang understanding mo yung tao, makasalanan yan. Kapag may opportunity yan, magko-corrupt yan. So pag gagawa ka ng mga systems, ng mga policies, ng mga laws, kung saan mahihirapan silang gumawa ng corruption. And kailangan ng law if you want a society that will be prosperous, you cannot live in a lawless society. Yun siguro yun. So, you want to see justice. Aside from justice, you want also to see mercy done. Kaya ganun. So, parang, parang if theology is the queen of all sciences, tapos yung philosophy yung king, tapos yung law, parang connected siya, related siya. So, parang it's a natural progression from my degree in theology and then in philosophy and then in law. Parang ganun. Tapos parang ina-apply mo lang siya ngayon lahat, pinagsasama-sama mo siya para naman sa pag-craft ng mga policies and mga laws.
Attorney, pero di ba sabi mo, parang based on what I've heard, it's more, parang you're geared towards policy making or creating new laws, but considering the role of your organization, may ganun na ba kayong influence?
Yeah, we are getting there. So right now we are building the foundations, the framework of the organization, yung mga core values, yung mga principles. Meaning, if you really want to see change in the society or in the Philippines, what are those changes? Ano yung mga foundations nun? What are those principles that you really think? What are those big ideas basically? Parang gano'n.
So parang are you in partnership with some legislators already or anyone in the government para maka-push through with those changes?
Yeah, so yung Lawyers for Christ is in talks with several organizations. Meron din kaming mga, in fact we have fielded a candidate na sinuportahan namin.
Yung recent election.
Sa recent election. Unfortunately, sa party list ito. So unfortunately, the party list did not win this election. But we are in talks with several leaders, thought leaders, and policy makers. And that is the goal really. Makarating sa Congress, sa Senate, and yung mga mapag-usapan yung mga ideas na we think will help the society.
And sorry, in terms of number, how many lawyers are
yes, right now there are 6 of us in the organization.
Okay.
And we are growing our movement. We have in fact scholars na mga nasa undergraduate degrees who if they want to become lawyers, also we are also helping them hanggang sa pag-take nila ng we have in fact scholars right now studying law.
And may clientele na po kayo?
Yeah, we offer our services to basically anyone. Ganun.
Okay. Hindi siya yung tipong parang member of a Christian religion or hindi gano'n. So, anyone.
So anyone can have legal consultation with lawyers for Christ. Just like what I said a while ago, we also champion yung mga individual rights. No, pag na-feeling mo na-violate yung individual right mo ng government or ng kung sino man, and you want representation but you can't afford it, Lawyers for Christ is one of your options.
You can't afford it, meaning you're providing it for free?
Yung legal consultation, and if kailangan umabot doon sa litigation, because you also advocate for compromise settlements, mediation, arbitration, like that, na hindi naaabot sa litigation, because we are also in the Lawyers for Christ is also in the Ministry of Reconciliation, na pinagbabati mo yung mga if the dispute is reconcilable, meaning mediatable, pwede naman i-mediate or i-arbitrate, ba't mo pagkakitaan yung mga kliyente. So pagbatiin mo sila, na-restore mo na yung relationship nila, hindi pa sila gumastos. So that is also one of our advocacies, in line with the policy of the Supreme Court, na yung mga cases that are mediatable, na pwedeng i-settle na lang out of court.
Meron po bang specific moment or experience kayo na nag-trigger sa inyo to have this kind of passion? Lalo na sa dami ng problema sa Pilipinas, meron bang specific na issue?
Yun yung pinaka-issue siguro na yung number one na issue na alam ko na hindi lang ako yung nag-iisip. Alam ko kahit na ito yung mga nakakapakinig sa atin are also passionate about is number one yung issue ng corruption sa atin sa Pilipinas. Right? Recently I was in Korea. I traveled in Korea. And isa sa mga friends namin doon na sabi niya, nabanggit niya sa amin na mahal nila yung Pilipinas. They love the Philippines because after the war in 1953, matapos yung Korean War, yung Pilipinas ang isa sa mga tumulong sa kanila para makabangon sila sa kanilang ekonomiya. So, understand na yung Pilipinas before, we are a very progressive, first world country tayo. Ganun yung datingan natin sa Asia. So, ang tanong is what happened? Ngayon, tayo yung ekonomiya natin nahuhuli, di ba? And we do not lack resources. We have all the resources that we need. Bata pa ako, alam ko na tinuturo na sa atin sa paral natin, napakayaman ng Pilipinas, di ba? Napapalibutan tayo ng mga karagatan, kabundukan, lahat ng pagpapala ng Panginoon ibinigay na sa Pilipinas. Pero yung napakarami pa rin naghihirap sa Pilipinas. We don't feel that we are rich. We don't feel that we are prosperous. So, yun, matinding trigger sa akin yung pag pinag-uusapan yung corruption. Kasi, minsan ang iniisip natin pag pinag-uusapan yung corruption, parang wala tayong magagawa eh. Di ba? Parang it's a hopeless case. It's a hopeless scenario. Everybody talks about corruption, but it's there everywhere. It's ubiquitous. It's common knowledge to everyone. Pero yung solution, how do you solve corruption? Ayun siguro yun siguro yung pinaka number one trigger why I am so passionate na nung nagkaroon kami ng ganitong organization. That is really to battle corruption in the Philippines. And secondly, yung question na how do you eradicate corruption if not curb it? How do you lessen it? How do you stop it? Siguro magandang question ito, hindi lang sa organization namin, kundi sa bawat isang mga Pilipino. Kasi lahat tayo apektado nito eh. Kapag corrupt yung bansa natin, corrupt yung mga official natin, nakita ba ninyo yung effect nun sa mga tao? Even yung mga tao, parang mga corrupt din sila mag-isip. So para siyang cancer na nagsisimula sa top, tapos naapektuhan niya lahat hanggang sa pinaka mga laylayan. So corruption affects each and every one of us. So yung Lawyers for Christ is a small voice siguro. We want to do something for the Philippines, for our fellow Filipinos, na maging prosperous, umasenso tayo talaga, maging mayaman tayo, makaalis tayo dun sa corruption. Makita natin talaga kung gaano tayo pinagpala na bansa.
Attorney, gusto ko lang i-connect yung na-mention mo sa politics, no? Ang Lawyers for Christ ba registered o may plan kayo i-register so that you can go run for a party list soon? Someday? May ganun bang, meron ba kayong tinitingnan na parang in the future para mas ma-widen, mas malaki yung maging coverage nyo kung ano yung gusto nyo magawa para sa mahirap, para sa country, mag-run kayo for a seat in the government?
Ako po wala akong personaling plan to be a politician, but I seek to influence politicians. I have friends who are politicians. Okay, I even have relatives who are politicians, mayor, mga member ng sanggunian. I seek to influence them. But yeah, going back to the question, yung Lawyers for Christ po is SEC-registered. So it has its own juridical personality. So yeah, we hope to see Lawyers for Christ sa mga, for example, makarating sa mga Supreme Court pag merong mga cases, mga constitutional issues, mag-argue before the Supreme Court kapag merong mga batas na ipinasa na unconstitutional or violative ng mga karapatang pantao. Andiyan yung Lawyers for Christ seeks to be a guardian of
Paano nyo i-correct yung parang mindset ng mga tao na parang ang batas para lang sa mayaman, para lang sa may pera, para lang sa pwedeng maka-afford ng mga lawyers? Paano yung mga mahihirap? Anong specific na plans o specific na parang gusto nyong maintindihan ng mga tao na yung batas talaga yung law para sa lahat naman yan? Kayo as a group.
That's a very good question. Kasi ako bilang lawyer, napansin ko rin yan sa practice ko ngayon na kapag wala kang pera, pag mahirap ka, parang talo ka na agad talaga. Hindi mo kakayanin talaga yung yung sa litigation pa lang. Yes, you can go sa PAW. Pwede kang lumapit sa PAW. Pero sa dami ng kasong hinahawakan ng mga kaibigan natin sa PAW, ng ating mga PAW lawyers, it's very hard for them to provide yung best na representation. So, maabot minsan ng 100 cases ang hinahawakan ng isang PAW lawyer. So, can you just imagine if you have a case, tapos kailangan matutukan yung kaso mo na. So, unless you have a friend who is a lawyer or a relative who is a lawyer, mahirapan ka talaga. And ideally, really, even if you're a king or you're a pauper, pantay lang kayo pagdating sa batas So that's the ideal. So siguro since maganda yun na-policy na ganun talaga, that is the ideal. Okay, justice is there's a law and there's no one above the law. So siguro yung tinatanong po ninyo paano yan magiging reality sa buhay ng lahat ng Pilipino. Na ako, I feel protected by the law. I'm so happy that we have a law that rules over us, na kahit presidente ka ng Pilipinas o senador ka, pantay-pantay lang tayo pag umarap tayo sa batas. In fact, yung Lady Justice ay nakapiring Tapos hawak-hawak niya yung scales of justice. Nakapiring siya doon, so hindi niya nakikita kung yung kaharap niya ba congressman o mahirap lang. At wini-weigh niya lang talaga yung merits ng case. So, as we battle corruption, yan, malilesen yan sa tingin ko. Kasi yung pera, I hate to say this, pero isa sa pinakamaliit na budget ng gobyerno natin ay yung ating judiciary. So that is really the answer to that question. Kung bakit parang hindi natin ramdam yung hustisya minsan sa Pilipinas, bakit may makanta na ang hustisya ay para lang sa mayaman. Sapagkat ang budget ng gobyerno natin, okay, sa overall budget natin, napakakonti lang. You can research this. You can fact check this. Napakababa lang ng budget ng gobyerno natin para sa ating judiciary. That our judiciary needs to find ways para lang maponduan yung kanyang mga pangangailangan. So even if our judiciary, ang pinakamahina natin na branch ng government, we have 3 branches, executive, legislative, and judiciary, ang pinakamaliit na budget yan ay yung judiciary. napakalaki pa naman ang ginagampanan ng judiciary natin. And that is to what? Give justice to everyone. So doon pa lang siguro maganda nating tingnan yun, yung policy natin. Bakit ganun? Ang laki-laki ng budget na binibigay natin. For example, ang pinakamalaking budget natin ay sa DepEd ngayon na, which is what? Very problematic ngayon dahil sa issue ng corruption, correct? Pero yung judiciary natin, ito lang yung budget, kakapiranggot lang. I think to give you an idea, it's not more than 3%. So you have 100% ng budget, not more than 3% ng budget na napupunta sa judiciary. And that is one of our 3 branches of the government. Napakababa lang nakuha ang budget. So dahil mababa yung budget nila, mahirap mag-dispense ng justice, but they're doing everything in their power. Yan ang pinaka-least corrupt na branch ng government natin, yung judiciary. May corruption pa din, pero that's the least corrupt. And unfortunately, yung budget ng gobyerno natin ay mas naka-align sa ibang mga proyekto at hindi dito. To answer that question.
Willing kayo, willing kayo, attorney, na if let's say may client kayo, controversial, willing to pay, capable to pay, pero that go against your belief and your advocacy, willing kayong i-decline yung client nila?
The general rule is that every person deserves the best representation that they can have. So, lahat ng tao, kahit na siguro akusado, meron pa rin karapatan. Pero if that would, ako personally, this is, I may probably not represent the lawyers in our organization. Pero ako, kapag guilty ka sa ginawa mong kasi iniisip ko rin yan before kapag guilty ka sa ginawa mo, kailangan pagbayaran yun. So I will do everything in my power, everything that I know, that I've learned, gagamitin ko siguro para mapababa yung sentensya mo. Pero because you committed a crime, for example, and you are liable for it, then you must be responsible enough to face the consequences of your actions. You will not get sabihin ko to sa mga nakakilala siguro sa akin, bala ko niyang gumawa ng krimen, you will not get a free pass just because I'm your friend or I'm a relative o lawyer. Pag gumawa ka ng mali, kailangan mong pagbayaran. Pero gagawin ko yung makakaya ko para siguro mapababa yung kaso, mabigay yung best case scenario for you.
Yung ganyang thoughts po sa inyo lang or sinasabi nyo sa
personal yan?
Personal. Pero paano nyo siya masasabi sa kliyente?
Sasabihin mo talaga yun sa kliyente. Pag nandyan yung kliyente, tatanungin ko sa kanya, ginawa mo ba? For example, did you really do it? For example, ng rape yan. Ginawa mo ba? Opo, ginawa ko. Sasabihin ko na rin sa'yo na ito yung kailangan, dahil ginawa mo yun, kailangan mo yung pagbayaran. So magdadalawang isip siya ngayon. Iisipin niya, kunin ko pa ba to? Kunin ko pa ba to si Attorney Ronald? Mukhang tagilid ako dito. So in that way, I still offered my services to him, but it's up to him na kung kukunin niya pa yung services ko. Knowing that, ako, hindi ko papangako sa'yo na okay lang yan, malulusutan mo pa yan. I'm not gonna say that because I'm for justice. I'm for justice and not just winning. And I'm not after the money of the person. For justice.
Bali, paano po namin kayo makokontak and yung grupo nyo po?
You can find us po sa Facebook, yung Lawyers for Christ. Meron kami dong mga magigiting na mga administrators na sasagot po sa inyo kung meron po kayong mga katanungan. You can also even go to my personal Facebook page. Hanapin niyo lang po yung pangalan ko po doon, Ronald Toledo.
For the last question po from Kapamilya Online World, what advice would you give to young Christians who aspire to enter the legal profession and use their careers for the greater good?
Excuse me po, sorry po.
Ano na po yung advice niya magiging po sa mga young Christians po na gusto nag-aspire po na mag-enter sa legal profession and use their careers for greater good po?
Yeah, that's a very good I'm telling you now that lawyering is hard. Advocating for people's rights is hard. But if if you really think na the Lord is calling you to be a lawyer, to be a champion of people's rights, go for it. And in your heart, set apart Jesus Christ as Lord. And be willing to follow. Kung yan ang pinapagawa sa'yo ng Panginoon, then do it. Sasamahan ka niya hanggang dulo. Wala kang, kahit na gaano kahirap, yung pagdadaanan mo, ma-accomplish mo yan. So yun lang, go for it. Kung tinatawag ka ng Panginoon sa, sa area na yan, go for it. And ang siguro masasabi ko lang, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing well. So do it with excellence. Gawin niyo with excellence. Hindi yung ginusto mo lang. Talagang kapag pinasok mo yan, I will do this excellently.
Thank you.
Okay po. Thank you po.
Thank you.